We are back on Kind of Sound, and I am super excited to have Goldie Sun with me. Goldie, how are you?
Hi Giles, I'm good. Thank you so much for inviting me on. I'm here in Glastonbury and yeah, the weather's a bit miserable, so I've got the curtain closed, but I'm super happy to see you.
Yeah, wonderful. So we met recently at the Glastonbury Symposium, which was a fantastic event, and we
Mm.
had a very exciting chat. It was like a meeting of souls, shall we say, a meeting of consciousness. And I said, Goldie, we've got to get you on Kind of Sound to talk about the project, to talk about the mission. But before we get into that, I read a beautiful post that you did recently on unity consciousness. And do you mind starting off just by telling the kind of sounders out there a little bit about unity consciousness?
Sure, yes, thank you. Thank you, Giles. That's a great question. So my personal experience with Unity Consciousness was that until about 9 years ago, I was quite well off. I had a good job. I earned plenty of money. And yeah, my take on it was that I'd earned my money. And the people who didn't earn money, well, they weren't really my problem. Maybe they're a bit lazy. Maybe they didn't really, work very hard or something because I worked really hard for my money. I wasn't mean and I wasn't uncharitable. I did, excuse me, I did give to charity and I did support my friends who had less money than me for, parties and things like that. But the people who I didn't know personally, I wasn't very interested in whether they were okay or not. And then I started experiencing some very extreme experiences. The first thing that really was very visible was that I became vegan overnight. So I went from eating meat 3 times a day to literally becoming vegan in a 24-hour period because I suddenly became aware that animals are supposed to be friends and are not for food, not for me personally anyway. And that when I went to eat their flesh, it literally looked like rotting dead flesh, which is exactly what it is, according to me. So that was the first thing that really was a very big change in my awareness. And then many things happened. I'll keep it to the minimum for time constraints. But on the 6th of August 2017, I was at an extraordinary festival in Hungary called Azora Festival. Have you been to Azora?
No, no.
I mean, on the face of it, it looks like a psychedelic trance party with
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
having a good time and dancing and getting high and these things. But actually, there's a big consortium or like a big symposium, like the one we were at in Glastonbury, is happening there upstairs from the dancing, with some of the most conscious, luminous beings on the planet gathering to share awareness on the expansion of consciousness and the transformation that's happening here on Earth. And I was there, and I was there with my friends, and we were dancing on the main stage. And yeah, I started to feel very different and very strange. And something had told me about a year before that I really needed to clean up my act, in terms of alcohol and drinking and
Yeah.
and other
Sure,
substances
sure.
and medicines. And I was totally clean and sober. Yeah. I was dancing just high off my own supply on my own vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was really enjoying myself. And then all the cogs started turning in my body. And then all of the system aligned with itself. And then it literally, when people say about cognition, the cogs turning, well, the
Yeah.
cogs literally, I felt the cogs turning in my head, and then the
Right.
penny dropped to the top of my head came off. It was like, and then the clouds parted, and then the angels came, and then all this green writing came. Bear in mind, I'm totally sober and I'm very
Sure,
surprised.
sure.
And I'm there going, ah! And all my friends thought I was having a fit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I come out of my body, I go to this connection with whatever is coming, and I get shown the whole of creation. I get shown how everything is interconnected. I get shown how we are one great big giant system, family, whatever you want to call us. Energetically, it's a system. In human experience, of course, we're a family, and that we are not separate. There is literally no separation from me and you, Giles. I know you know that. We're all part of the same system. We are not standing on Earth. We are not dancing on Earth. We are Earth.
Mm.
Yeah, we are part of the Earth body. We are part of the system. And as such, how can we possibly be separate? It's like saying we have 37 trillion cells in our physical body in this version, in me, in Goldie or in Giles, and that one of those is separate from the other.
Mm.
We'd call that nonsense, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
And now scientists are realizing that everything is a fractal. So basically, this body, Goldie, this your body, Giles, we are one cell in the body of our creation. Yeah. And when I came back in my body, there was me, the original version of me. And then there was another being who I've now realized is also me, but
Yeah.
it was a future version of me who knew all kinds of things that I had no idea about. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they moved in with me. I have to say, it felt a bit like an alien invasion at the time. It was
Yeah.
quite, it was quite surprising because I didn't know anything about any of this stuff. I didn't know anything about consciousness or unity or transformation. I was just there having a good time, and I became aware profoundly of the unity of all of us. This being that came in with me, she was here to show us all that we are literally going now to witness and are now witnessing the dissolution of the veil of the illusion of separation.
Mm.
Yeah, she was coming with a very advanced esoteric awareness of the Mahamudra, the Dzogchen Tantra, the Kashmiri Shaivism, the Tantra of the heart, the Tantra of the awareness that our heart is not a pump, like everybody says.
Yeah.
It's actually a toroidal, energetic system, which allows us to experience direct interconnection with all of the creation. Yeah. So in tantric practice, we master the art of interconnecting via the portal of the heart with our
Mm.
own self first, with
Mm.
our actual own self within which we experience our entire universe, and everything that's perceivably external to us is coming from our inner self. And then we learn how to interconnect with the perceivable others around us. So, with this, we get this extraordinary experience of unity consciousness. It's just like the bees and just like the dogs in a pack. A lot of the animals have maintained this awareness
Yeah.
through the transformation of time, what humans refer to as time, of course, which is actually non-linear. And now it's time for us humans to come back into that experience again. So, it's extremely exciting times. I'm clapping today in joy because I'm very croaky as well. I'm like clearing out some things here. But my awareness is telling me this morning when I woke up that over the next few days, we've got a very energetically potent portal is opening.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, the Lionsgate portal, and we're going to be at an incredible event at the Shine seminars. Yes, enjoying
Yes.
together
Yes.
and celebrating this extraordinary experience of transformation on Earth together. And what's going to happen is that some of the people who are in power,
Mm.
like the Putins, the Bill
Yeah. Yeah.
Gates,
Yeah. Yeah.
these guys, they're going to have the same experience that I had. They're going
Wow.
to experience radical transformation of the awareness of consciousness.
Wow.
The ones of us who've come here with the material wealth and with the networks, the human system
Mm-hmm. Mm.
structures implemented, the ones of us who've come here from our crew, from our cosmic crew,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
gathered that and have amassed that, are going to have radical awakening experiences over this period, which is going to
Wow.
make it so much easier for us to do our work of implementing our light scalar technology and our light systems, which have been brought to earth by our team of developers and cosmic coders and beautiful light beings who've come here to implement systems to help Earth transform as easily as possible through this great awakening of awareness of consciousness, which is happening now on Earth. So my heart is feeling really expanded, and I'm feeling a lot of very joyful frequencies coming through. So thank you
Amazing.
for sharing. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, we are loving you being here on Kind of Sound and sharing these frequencies. That's what it's all about. Tell us about Lumina Casa. Now, Kind of Sound is that is LuminaCasa.co. LuminaCasa.co. I just had a little look, Goldie, at the website this morning. Wow, beautiful stuff. But just give people a little brief intro about Lumina Casa.
Yes, thank you. So, Lumina Casa was born of the response to a community which I'd been assisting with facilitating called the Magical Love Community, which emerged from the grounding of a system called the Magical Life Academy. So the first thing that came through me was the Magical Life Academy. And with my awareness that came in of the Tantra, which, as I say, it came direct from me, it came direct from source. I didn't study with a Tantra teacher or spend years reading scriptures or something. I just suddenly became aware of a
Yeah.
lot of information, a lot of knowledge, a lot of which then, when it becomes experience, it becomes wisdom. And excuse me, I grounded an organization called the Magical Life Academy, which the function of which is to bring back to light the esoteric science of the Tantra, which has been systematically erased from history and has been hidden. Yes. So I have actually got my hands on a few copies of the Tantra. I had to go to great lengths, which I won't divulge now, to get hold of these actual texts. So this knowledge has been known on Earth before, but the people who have implemented the systems which are currently running the matrix, or the 3D world, as people call it, they it's not in their best interests for people to be aware of the Tantra, because what the Tantra does is it brings us back into our own power. Yeah, it allows us to recall our power to ourselves from wherever we might have given it away. Because let's be clear, nobody can take our power; we have to give it.
Yeah.
But the system that we're currently living in, the Matrix, is designed so we feel like we have no option but to give
Sure.
the power. Yes. So the Tantra shows us how to reclaim our power, how to stand in our power, how to realize ourselves as the multidimensional beings of light, of glorious divinity, which we are. And of course, then, if we've realized that, we're probably not going to give our power away anymore. So the Magical Life Academy's purpose is to gather the ones of us who have realized the art of the Tantra in this lifetime and embodied it, and allow us a platform to actually project that awareness into the human reality. Yeah. So I created that. That took some doing. And then from that, then the community arose, the Magical Love Community. And then we needed a home. Yeah, because a lot of our people are like me, renunciates. So I actually was called to renounce 3D world after my
Yeah.
big awakening experience. And I gave away everything I owned and went to live in a monastery in Burma. Like literally everything I owned, and went to live in a monastery in Burma. And a lot of the people who are aware of this very esoteric knowledge and these sciences and systems are in the same position as me, a renunciate. So we don't have any 3D possessions. We don't have any money. We don't have a house. We left our belongings. We left our families. We left our friends and our entire system structure to go to receive the awareness of these systems, technologies, etc. And then when we come back to the Earth frequency to share it with the Earth frequency, how do we survive?
Sure. Sure.
You know, when I started to come back, I was in India. I had no visa.
Yeah. Wow.
I was on the arrest and deport list.
Yeah. 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 Sure.
Yeah, I had to come back from that and become a person again in
Right.
order to be able to get myself in a position where I could begin to share the awareness and share the knowledge with the humans that I
Yep.
came to serve. This is the reason why I've gone through all this, so I can bring this knowledge and this awareness to the people, so the people can experience less suffering and return to joy. And there's not just me, as I say, there's a lot of us in our organization who are in a similar position of experience, like basically the same path, the renunciate's path. So Lumina Casa was born in my awareness on the 3rd of December last year. And the point of Lumina Casa is to create the infrastructure for the magical love community to interconnect and to provide safe spaces for us to come together and to co-create the systems that we have got the blueprint for, that we have got the vision for, that we've already got the grounded knowledge for, and also in some cases even the finished, like, viable product, minimal viable products we've got of the light scaler technologies, particularly the eye raisiner and time weaver technologies. And now we're developing with some people who Colin and Heike, the Dragonfire technology systems, which is the server-side server and the Lumos operating system and the Dragonfire kernel and Cyrene AI and the Asiatic agents and all of, like, the next dimension awareness light scaler technologies. The people who've got that awareness can come together, can be safe, can be held, and can sit together and to radically accelerate the emergence of these technologies, which are coming in from extra dimensional awareness intelligence. Yes. So All of us are aware that we have our ground crew here.
Yep.
So that's one of the reasons why I've come back to England to meet our ground crew. And in fact, Eli, the guy
Yep.
who's organizing the Shine seminars, when I met him, he was wearing a jumper
I
with
know.
extraterrestrial intelligence ground crew
I
literally
know.
stitched into his top. So
He
next time you visit,
he literally was wearing the t-shirt, wasn't he, when you met
he
him?
was literally
You
wearing
couldn't make this
a
stuff up, Goldie. And we're
t-shirt.
not making it up. I mean, it's truth is stranger than fiction.
It is, yes. So Lumina Casa, all of our people gather together, safe space provided for, because when we're like grounding this intelligence, honestly, I have sat before in front of a laptop for 5 days and not eaten because time is non-linear. It doesn't exist, but still my physical body is here, like in 3D.
Sure.
Needs to take care of my physical body.
Yeah.
Like Colin is the same. We're coding this technology into 3D infrastructure so that we can create the path of ease for her to transform with as least fuss and bother as possible. But we need somebody to take care of us while we're doing it
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Also, we have an always on Magical Life Academy holistic wellness schedule happening at the Lumina Casa house. So that everybody is supported, and there's body work, there's massages, there's delicious whole-based nutritious plant foods,
Mhm.
whatever else is necessary for the support of our people. That's the first intention for Lumina Casa. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're with the vision that we'll open 144 nodes
Yep.
around Earth Field in the next 5 years. So it's a very
Beautiful.
ambitious vision that we've got. And then from there, what will happen, like the original vision for, I don't know if you've ever heard of, oh, Aurobindo, Sri Aurobindo and the
Yes.
mother, they created a
Yes.
place in India, yeah,
Mhm.
Auroville. So basically, Lumina Casa is the continuum and the expansion of the original vision of Auroville. When
Mhm.
my entity, when I came in the body, when my awareness came in the body, I actually continued the work of Sri Aurobindo and the mother in the super consciousness because, of course, he'd left the body and then she'd
Mhm.
left to complete something and was coming back, but then her body was taken before she could get back in it. So, um, yeah, I continued that work. And Lumina Casa is actually the continuum and the expansion of the original vision of unity consciousness, which was prevalent with the original vision of Sri Aurobindo and the mother for Auroville. Yeah. So what we feel will happen is, well, what we see will happen is that the nodes, the 144 initial nodes, which we will create from existing structures,
Mhm.
so existing buildings that have
Yep.
fallen into disrepair,
Yep.
yoga retreats, tantra retreats, community like places that already exist. Maybe they fell out in COVID. Maybe the people are getting on in
Yep.
years. Maybe,
Yep.
they want to take a step back. We want to invite the people who've got those places to partner with us,
Yep.
not necessarily to sell us their property. Maybe they're not ready to let go of it. We want them to partner with us so we can
Yep.
work together in unity to like radically accelerate the expedience with which we can create these centers. And
Yep.
we're calling it radical acceleration of excellence centers,
Okay.
or just home, which is what it is for us. And then around it, we vision like in Auroville and like in Arambul, for example, in India, where I spent 6 years living recently. What will happen is that the community, the unity consciousness aware community, will begin to emerge naturally around it because those are the
Mm.
nodes. And then from the nodes, the awareness will just begin to emerge because the communities are already existing
Yep.
in the original blueprint of the creation. We're
Mhm.
not creating communities. Let's be clear. People are talking about creating communities. Oh, I'm creating a community. Well, no, actually, what I'm doing and what we're doing at Lumina Casa is just facilitating the infrastructure and holding space for the emergence of the communities which are aligned with the original blueprint of the creation here on Earth. And that is at the point of our entire project and the purpose of why we're here and we're doing what we're doing.
Well,
And
well, it's
then we can return to joy and have a party.
I love that. Absolutely love that. I tell you what, it's so aligned with the philosophy of the missing kind, which is, behind kind of sound. And Hugh Callagher is a great man who founded the missing kind 25 years ago. And I know you two are going to meet soon as well, because he's a very interesting guy. And, one of the properties as part of the charity is the missing kind near Cambridge. And when you were talking there about these centres, radical centres for excellence, and all this, these home centres, I was just seeing that. I was just visualising that really thriving and awakening. And the other thing, just before we started recording today, you told me about an old buddy of mine, Luke Scott the third, and
Yes.
he's involved because Luke Scott was a presenter on Kind of Sound, I think, for nearly a year. You know, he put a good shift into to spreading the kindness vibe. So tell us about Luke's involvement in it all.
So yeah, so a few years ago, I saw Luke on his Facebook, and he was offering a facilitation of a group called Visible Visionaries. And I saw him, and I felt then, I knew then that guy's one of my partners,
Mm,
like in our organization. He was in England, I was in India. And I was in full renunciation. As I say, I had no visa. I was on the arrest and deport list.
yeah,
They were after me.
yeah,
I was like a proper baba.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Like,
yeah.
my place was there, and there was nothing anybody was going to do to get me out of there. I was there doing sadhana. You can't get out of that. It doesn't matter what the authorities say. If you're there doing sadhana, you're there doing sadhana. That is all.
Sure.
But he was in England. Anyway, at some point we connected.
Yeah.
I realized he's into tantra and these things, and we had a conversation, and then he got into the curate stuff, and I had a very strong connection with Dolores, dear Dolores Cannon, and I saw that he was continuing her work,
Right.
which had fallen slightly askew when she'd left the body and it had been taken over by her successor. It had
Okay.
fallen slightly out of my awareness of what Dolores's original intention with it was, and he was bringing it back into alignment with that. And then at some point, I became aware that I needed to invite him to come to like be our, a key player in our organization. So like one of the like lead key co-founders in Lumen, not it wasn't called Lumina Casa then it was called Magical Life Academy, then it was called Magical 5D Society. But Magical 5D Society is the overarching term which we're currently using, but not wed to any of these terms, by the way. They're just labels for
Sure.
understanding purposes. Magical 5D Society, which is the umbrella term for the totality of our system, which is 144 organizations, actually.
Wow.
There's 144 cogs
Yeah. Yeah.
in our system. Yeah. And like, so Magical Life Academy is one, and Lumina Casa is one.
Sure.
And the people who are the co-founders of Lumina Casa, by the way, are also the founder or the originator or the facilitator of the establishment of their own particular DAO, which are all intended to interconnect. Yes. So this kind of
Kind of sound.
lost, no, kind of sound, but you said about the other
Oh,
organization,
they call it the missing the kind of sock is the venue,
kind
and
of sock.
the missing kind is the charity that's behind it all.
Yes. Yes, so the missing kind. So yes, this sounds like one of the DAOs in the DAO. So there's 144 DAOs in the DAO,
Got
and
you?
our intention through Lumina Casa is to interconnect all of them.
Yeah.
So when we interconnect the visionary founders of these DAOs, when we become aware of unity consciousness amongst ourselves, it's going to create such a massive
Got you?
effect,
Yeah.
planetary awareness, that it's wow, because these are people who have got awareness sitting together and co-creating together. So like when me and Luke or me and you sit together and we reflect each other and we share energy together, it creates exponentially more energy. Yes.
Mm.
So I invited Luke, and then Lumina Casa started happening, and then we opened our first MVP. So MVP is a minimum viable product for people who are not into like trying to raise money. Human technology terms for trying to get money,
Sure.
minimum viable product. So we created it. We rented this beautiful, incredible, like 12-bedroom ranch in Koh Phangan in Thailand, which is a mecca for consciousness awareness expansion now. There's so many tantrics and yogis are over there. I've been going there for 26 years, and we've identified a couple of properties which we are really, really interested in purchasing actually in Koh Phangan to establish two of our first permanent centers. But for this one, it was a 66-day minimum viable product test to see if it functions correctly,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so we got some investors and we got this beautiful place, and I invited Luke to come, and Luke came, and he brought his beautiful wife Mia and their two kids and the baby on the way, and they were part of the first minimum viable product. And now Luke and I, of course, will be moving together in unity, and well, we're here in England now, as I say, to meet our ground force crew. So what we
Yeah.
really need now is whoever in our team has got the grounded earth resources. I'm talking properties, land, money, knowledge about how to get money to come to us to finance the project, because I'm not a finance person. Honestly, if I never have to do anything to do with the money, I will be so supremely happy. Please, whoever is supposed to do it. Because you see, these people, everybody in our organization will already be aware that that's their purpose
Sure.
when they get the call, and here
Yeah.
is the call, we're ready.
Yeah. Here's the call,
My
people. Here
product
is
is
the call.
complete. Yeah, here is the call. We're ready for you. Yes, please come to us. We need like investment managers. We've got two blockchain systems. One is called the Luca token, one is called the Casa token, and it's like an integrative system. So you can earn value in our system by being yourself. If you don't have any money, because of course the light scaler people and the renunciates, they don't have any money to contribute to joining our organization.
Yeah.
So our system ensures that true value is identified and rewarded. So if you have money, you can come and contribute money. Perhaps if you've got a lot of money, maybe you don't have a lot of light awareness. If you give us money, we can offer you light awareness so you can have expansion of awareness. If you're a millionaire or a billionaire, what can money buy you anyway? You know,
Yeah.
we're offering literal enlightenment of self, realization of purpose, so that you can be joyful in this lifetime. Because my experience, and I don't know about you, Giles, is that you can have as much money as you want, but money will not make you happy if you haven't realized your true purpose,
For
isn't
sure.
it? Yeah, because
100%.
the universe, the real value of the universe is purpose. That is what the universe is driven by, is purpose. Yeah. Purpose and the weave of love.
Yeah.
That is what the universe is driven by. Yeah. So if you're doing something, if you're working in a job, if you're making billions, that's all very well and good, but you will never experience joy unless you somehow realize your purpose. And that's what we're offering. We're offering education, transmissions, meditations, experience from those of us who've already realized our purpose and ourself,
Mm.
so that you can realize yourself. And what we need for that now is the integration with the Earth crew, and also the ones who've got the networks. That's very important, the network effect, because we've got these technologies and we've got these systems, and now we need the people who can help us to integrate those things into the Earth's atmosphere and roll them out so the people that need to receive them can get them, because
Wonderful.
yeah. So here we are. We're a friendly bunch. Yeah, Luke's totally on board. You also know Colin, one of my other core partners. Colin's also happy to come on and have a talk about our incredible Dragonfire technology system, which him and Heike have been working in overdrive coding. And there's also David from Oasis, who's coding Web3, Web4, and Web5 technologies, and has been doing so for the past 5 years. And well, I mean, the Web4, Web5 is doing it for 5 years, but the other stuff he's been doing for literally 10 years. So we've got the server-side server in development. We've got the Lumos Light Scalar operating system. We've got a whole heap of extra dimensional awareness technologies already coded and ready to run. And what we need now is the grounding into the Earth atmosphere. So,
Amazing.
yeah, and then you can come and play with us at Lumina Casa, and we'll show you all kinds of extraordinary experiences.
Well, I tell you what, it's incredible, Goldie, and I'm so pleased that you. Let's just say this is a bit of an introduction into it all. Look, we're both going to be at the Shine celebration, and you can go to the shineseminars.org, kind of sounders. That is the 7th to the 10th of August, as Goldie was saying there. It does coincide with the Lionsgate. There's going to be amazing activations. There's going to be a lot of the ground crew, I think, in attendance, as there
Yeah.
aren't many events coming forward. So, just going to give you that website again. It's luminacasa.co if you want to know some more. And do hook me up, Goldie, with an interview with my old friend Colin. It was like when you were saying about, you're on the laptop for 5 days, but what about the food? And I remember a conversation I had with him when I was chatting to him in Goa, and he was in full download mode. And I just said, you got to make sure you're looking after your body.
Yeah.
Kind of just stopped him like that, and he said they are aware of that. And he just kept going. But I just had to say it because I care about him. Just you are cosmic, Colin, but just you got to feed that body some good stuff and rest, and get that balance in there. So, but good to hear that he's doing so well, and he's doing the work. Goldie, I will see you in a few days, my dear, and I
Yes.
look forward to. And look, as Goldie said, like this is the time. Okay, so if you're listening to this thinking, yeah, some of that was sinking into me, and maybe all of it was sinking into me, then do get in contact via the website with Goldie, and we look forward to doing some more work with our old buddies. Luke's got third, and Colin, and all the team. Goldie,
Yeah.
final message from you, my dear.
Um, yeah, as Giles says, if any of this is resonating with you, if you feel like you have something to offer, you're not quite sure what it is, you can get in touch with me personally via Goldie, Goldie at luminacasa.co. And I will personally respond to you because I do feel that now is the time for us to interconnect so we can really go mega boom with this project, get us together in community, together, enjoy, make sure everybody's taken care of, make sure that we've got a lot of people around us to love each other and ensure that we're all safe and that these systems get put where they're intended to be uninterrupted so we can all get back to joy. So thank you. Thank you, Giles. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to see you all at Shine Seminars. Please come and see us.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, Goldie. That's been some real good vibrations going out to the nations, going out to the one love unity consciousness. All right, keep it kind of sound, everyone. We'll see you soon.